up, game changers? I hope you're having an awesome week. Here is your exclusive video. My name is Dandan Zhu, founder and CEO of Dandan Global, a coaching company helping you achieve the life and career you envision. Today, we're going to talk about something you'll find very useful, as you'll probably be using it every single day. This is the self-introduction. Who doesn't love it when you go to a networking event and the first thing people ask you to do is stand up and talk about yourself, right? Actually, this doesn't have to be so nerve-wracking, although I will say people at all ages are freaked out about this all the time. Obviously, I was one of those people starting out in my career. And even in high school and college, I was always so nervous when it came time to talk about myself. And I think this is, again, pretty universal for people. It's because that I do this for a living that I don't feel any nervousness anymore when I describe myself. And the trick really is that I'm so well prepared and I know it's coming. So that is achievable by everybody who's tuning in right now. You can literally just memorize what you're going to say, and just no matter how nervous you are, you can still deliver something that you memorized, right? So just practice it enough and you won't be as nervous as you think you usually are. So what's the structure going to look like? Of course, there's so many different things you could say. There's so many different aspects of who you are as an individual. How do you compress it all into one sentence or maybe a few sentences? Well, first you need to gauge how much time you have so that you can pick which version of the self-introduction you should use. So if you're at a networking event where they ask you to state your name and what you do, you don't want to go too long here because that's going to make you stick out like a sore thumb. You will not be liked by the people around you because they're going to think, oh, you're only just supposed to talk about yourself for one sentence, not like a whole monologue. So you really want to be strategic which ones to prepare for and which ones to use during whatever situation you're in. A good way to just come up with that one sentence intro is to focus on your current job. That's always an equalizer. So you can say, hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a store manager at Starbucks. Boom. You've now said what you do and where you work. Or you can make it a little aspirational. Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm currently a store manager at Starbucks. I'm looking to network and look at opportunities to get into marketing. You can really choose how to use that one sentence you have. You can either make a sell or talk about what you're currently doing, whichever one is more relevant to the situation at hand. Then the longer version of this introduction could look something like this. You can talk about your education as a first bullet. If you're newly graduated or just about to graduate, that's always a good point to start. And it's also a good point to mention if you're looking to switch roles. If you're looking to switch companies, you might want to say, hi, my name is Dandan. I have a bachelor's degree in finance and strategic management. Currently, I'm working within the marketing space, but I'm eager to get into strategy. So that's how you would use your education, because it's although it's not something required, it's at least a point to say, I have a relevant skill to transition into consulting. Don't just focus on the fact that I'm a marketing person. I'm showing you that I did finance before and I did strategic management, and that has a relationship to what I'm going to do in the future. You can definitely tie in your education like that. Again, you want to be very strategic and precise, succinct. You don't want to kind of ramble. Every word counts and it has to mean something. Of course, you want to use as many keywords as possible so that no matter who you're talking to, especially if they're in your industry, they're fully aware of, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. There's a few different ways that you can prepare for your self-introduction. I think the best way is to just write it out ahead of time, so that you have it visually in your mind, you've crafted it, and just start memorizing it. Just get very comfortable saying it out loud, practicing it, and just feel really confident in what you're saying. Because you can really tell the minute you meet someone when you ask them, so what do? You can almost see the fear, the nervousness, the lack of confidence, and you just don't want to do that. You don't want to seem like that either. It's very important to own what you do and who you are. Confidence is something that we as animals can feel off of each other. We feed off of each other's energy. So know that when you're meeting someone for the first time, they're going to be looking at your presence. They're going to be looking for some sort of power emanating from you. or lack of power. So that's really what the self-introduction will allow you to do. It's to say, I'm confident, I know what I'm doing, I know my background, I love myself, this is who I am. It's a real conversation starter. And the reason why I say that is that people will either want to continue talking to you or they'll be turned off. It's kind of like that weird handshake you just got from them, right? If their hand is slimy and you're just like barely grabbing onto your fingers, you're not going to be super, super impressed already off the bat. So again, this self-introduction is super critical. You don't want to come off weak or insecure. Even if you're looking for a new job and you feel nervous and you feel desperate that you need a new job, it doesn't have to come across in your self-introduction. So now you nailed your quick 1-second intro where you just said your name, what your role is, and where you worked at. Now what do you do when you have a little more time to play with? This is where it gets really tricky. A few of my friends and even like very experienced people that I've met in the past, a lot of my candidates that I worked with as their headhunter, when I asked them this question just to test them out to make sure they knew what they were doing, they would say things like, oh, my name is Mary. I'm so excited about this job. I'm a very hard worker. I love to also, I have a passion for volunteering, and I have a family. I'm from Pennsylvania. And before you knew it, we were just totally off into la la land. And this is, again, where structure is going to be very important. A lot of people will say, well, I want to stand out. I want to be special. I want to really create a human interaction. And I say, well, that's what the rest of the interview is for. You really shouldn't squander this moment to establish your professionalism and risk losing the interviewer's respect, because what happens if they just don't happen to agree with some of your personal views or personal pastimes? There's all these preconceptions about certain activities people do, whether it's, oh, I'm a cat person, or I'm a dog person, or I like horses, or I like to crochet in my spare time. There's all these stereotypes that come with all these personal choices. So that's why I say stay away from the personal stuff in your self-intro. As weird as that sounds and as counterintuitive as that sounds, it's my honest opinion and advice. As someone who sat on the other side and stayed on phones and asked hundreds of thousands of people, tell me about yourself, I can tell you that it can't get more annoying when someone's gonna drone on and on and on about their personal life. I don't want to hear it. I'm here talking to you from a professional standpoint. I want to know what you've done that's relevant to what I need to know today, which is, are you a fit for this job or not? If I'm looking for an executive, I definitely want that executive presence, and I want to hear all the executive stuff you've been up to. So this is where, again, you want to be very strategic on what you say and what you don't say. The safest way to answer this question that will appeal to 99% of your interviewers, whether they're HR, hiring manager, internal recruiter, or an external headhunter like myself, would be to get straight to business. Talk about what you've done in the last few years that's relevant to this job at hand. If you're looking to transition, give me a reason why you're looking to transition. And at the end of your intro, give me a nice sell. Tell me why you're excited to be here. Tell me what you're looking to get out of today's event. And off we go to a beautiful, beautiful start. So let's go over this structure. Really, it's just your name, your education, if relevant, your last role or past jobs or extracurricular activities, depending on where you're coming from, a little deeper dive into your skills and your experience. Then you end it with a sell. That's really the structure of your quick 30-second elevator pitch for yourself. So if I were interviewing for a headhunting role, this is an introduction that I would say myself. Hi, my name is Dandan Zhu. I graduated from Babson College with a degree in finance and strategic management. Right after graduation, I jumped into the world of headhunting, and for the last 5 years, I built my business from scratch, working with clients and candidates at all levels, all the way up to chief executive level for the pharmaceutical industry. I was a full desk recruiter, so I was responsible to not only build out the candidate relationships, but definitely manage everything that has to do with the whole entire interview process, salary negotiation, and liaising between HR and the hiring manager on the client side. I really love what I do, and in the last few years, I've been top biller for every single year running, billing over $2.5 million for our company. I'm really excited to interview at your company because I'm very, very passionate about what I do as a headhunter. I have confidence that I will be a great asset to your US expansion plans because I have on-the-ground experience on what it's like to work with executives at the highest level in a US firm and how that can translate into your business strategy. So that is a general example. And of course, I practiced that. I had to practice that a few times. In your mind, it might look like something like a bullet list where you have 3 or 4 things that you're going to jump to and definitely hit upon. So when you're practicing, you can write it out as a whole entire paragraph, and then you can also write it out as bullets. And you can just practice saying it over and over again on your way to your interview. I strongly believe that the self-introduction is really the most important part of the interview because it sets up your conversation. And if you really nail it, you're off to a great start. You've just earned some serious brownie points. Thanks for being part of the Dandan Global community. Remember, you can always sign up for private coaching on the Dandan method or anything related to job search so you can implement everything we just discussed in this video. I hope this helps, and definitely stay in touch and keep an eye out for your next mail.